On senior day, the Cardinals rack up 56 points while the single-season record falls to a sophomore. And we count down the top 10 moments of 2015. I'm Kevin Jackman. It's the season finale of the Red Zone next on NCTV 17. First quarter, first drive for the Blue Jays, and freshman quarterback Orlando Hernandez has them looking good. It's too bad he's not the one looking. Fumble recovered by the Cardinals to open up on defense. Cardinals offense taking the field, and it's freshman quarterback Justin Hunterford getting North Central on the board. Second and 13, Hunterford going to the end zone, to the corner. The catch is made. Was he down? He was. Touchdown Cardinals. Corey Hardeman pulls down the football. Cardinals grabbing a quick 7-0 lead. Next offensive possession, it's running back Matt Randolph displaying his veteran vision. Randolph cuts it back to the middle. He's got the end zone in his sight. Touchdown Matt Randolph, the senior. On senior day, Matt Randolph crosses the goal line. 6 touchdowns on the season for Randolph, 14-0 NCC. To the second quarter we go, and Austin Brunig is an animal you just can't cage. Handoff off the right side of the offensive line, and still loose and running is Austin Brunig, and he's free. He's got nothing but right in his sight to the 20, the 10, and the end zone. Austin Brunig emerges from a pile and goes the distance, 80 yards. Cardinals taking a 21-0 lead over Elmhurst. Blue Jays desperate to get something going, facing a 4th and 8 inside Cardinal territory, and it's Hernandez finding Garrett Claxton on the sideline to pick it up. And then moments later, Hernandez to Claxton again, this time for 6. Elmhurst pulls within 14. Approaching halftime, the Blue Jays attempting to make it a game, and Hernandez finds Claxton again, but he's down at the 1. 10 seconds remaining in the half, and Hernandez powers his way across. Halftime score 28-14 NCC. Coming out of the break, Justin Hunterford winds up and unleashes. Quarter, Hunterford play action fake. Deep down the sideline, man is open, it's Ulmer. He's got nothing but the end zone in front of him, and it's a touchdown for the Cardinals. 48-yard touchdown strike. Hunterford to Ulmer. Ulmer finishing with 100 yards on 3 grabs and that touchdown. Later on in the third quarter, Brunig strikes again. Brunig on the run. Hurdles a man towards the end zone. Touchdown, Austin Brunig. Third time today for the sophomore back. Fourth quarter now, and Hunterford with a hat trick. Pressure from behind. Throw to the end zone. Cuts in. Touchdown. Touchdown North Central. Dylan Warden on the receiving end of that one. With the score, Dylan Warden officially throwing, running, and catching a touchdown this season. Late stages of the fourth, just give it to Brunig. Brunig up the middle and touchdown. North Central, Brunig. Not 1, not 2, not even 3. 4 touchdowns on the afternoon. 18 touchdowns on the season for the sophomore running back. That's a new program record. Final defensive play, and senior Al Willet smokes domino. Fumble picked up by senior captain Chris Chacon. He gets carried off the field by Kevin Schroeder, and that's a perfect way to end it. Cardinals win 56-21, finish the season 7-3, and send the seniors out on a high note. Welcome inside the Red Zone, joined as always by head football coach Jeff Thorne. And coach, final game of the season, a big win, a great way to send out your seniors. What was the feeling around the team after the conclusion of that game?
Excitement. I mean, everybody was really, really pleased with the way we finished the season. That's really what we set out to do when we talked during the week. We wanted to have just a really solid performance across the board, something that we could take into next season from a momentum standpoint for the younger guys, and challenge the seniors to leave their mark, and their legacy is going to play out over the next few years with how they've impacted the young players. And to be able to go out that way was really rewarding, I think, for them, and certainly important for the young guys on the team.
In the week leading up to this game, we heard a lot. We want to send the seniors out in the right way. We talked about it last week on the show. Yeah. It's the right way to send them out on that particular note.
Couldn't have asked for a better way to send them out. That's what they deserved. That's what they've earned. Through a season with its ups and downs and the disappointments and the tough defeats, as I've said before, just the character that they've shown throughout the season, that's the way that they deserve to go out. So that was really satisfying.
Now, the seniors were the main storyline of the day, but it was a sophomore kind of stealing the show in this one as well. Austin Brunig, 18 rushing touchdowns on the season. How impressive is that for a feat for a guy that didn't start the season as the starting running back?
Right. It's really incredible. It's a great example of a guy being prepared and ready for his opportunity when it came. Nobody knew what was going to happen as early as it did with O'Shane going down. But Austin is one of those guys that prepares every week. He's really an intelligent football player. He's extremely coachable. You tell him to do something once, and he gets it done the way you want it done. That played out over the course of the whole season, and he just kept getting better and better and better. And pretty exciting way for him to finish the season too.
Now, another guy that crossed the goal line was Matt Randolph, a senior. Yeah. And when it happened, it wasn't just on a gimme touchdown from 2 yards out that we've seen him the power back. It was from like 20 yards away, and he made a nice cut towards the middle of the field. How proud were you when you saw him make that cut and find pay dirt?
Extremely proud, but also just really happy for Matt to be able to finish his career that way. It was a great run, great cut back against the grain. He's really good when he gets out on the edge like that, and it showed on Saturday. And Matt was playing through a lot of pain too. He's got a knee injury from 2 weeks ago. He re-injured the ankle in the game, but he continued to play, did not want to come off the field, as you could understand, in his last game.
Now, one of the coolest moments was the last defensive play of the game. It was Al Willet coming around the edge, landed just a massive hit on the quarterback, Drew Domino, and it was Chris Chacon scooping up the fumble. That must have been pretty special for you to see.
Yeah, it was great to see those two guys out on the field to finish the game out, and Al really showed his explosiveness on that play. And I don't know if they called it a fumble. We were confused on the sidelines what it was. But yeah, it was a great job by Al coming off the edge and put a pretty significant hit on the quarterback, separating the ball from the man.
Pre-game festivities, it was the first time that you were the head coach for this particular day. Was it any different than in years past for you as now that you're the head coach?
With it being senior day? Yeah, it was extremely emotional. I mean, these guys mean a lot to me. You know, I've shared with them before. I've got my family at home with my wife and my 3 kids, but this is like a second family. When you have an opportunity to watch young men develop over the course of 4 years, it's really the most rewarding part of what we get to do as coaches. When you're in it for the right reasons, and it's not just about the wins and losses and the X's and O's, but it's about developing young men, it's without question, it's the most rewarding part of the job.
There's a lot more I want to get to when we come back. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on the Red Zone. Before we sit back down with Coach Thorne, it's time for this week's Play of the Game. This may be one of a record-breaking 18, but Austin Brunig outdid himself against Elmhurst. Handoff off the right side of the offensive line, and still loose and running is Austin Brunig, and he's free! He's got nothing but red in his sight to the 20, the 10, and the end zone. Austin Brunig emerges from a pile and goes the distance, 80 yards. 4 touchdowns on the day, that being an 80-yarder to give Brunig the Red Zone's final play of the game. Welcome back inside the Red Zone, joined by head football coach Jeff Thorne. And Coach, I want to talk about moments, because obviously a season is kind of a collection of moments. When you look back at this year, is there one or maybe a collection of those that you find are particularly memorable?
Unfortunately, a lot of the memorable ones are the ones that were on the wrong end of the win-loss column. Yeah, certainly remember the Wesley game. It was one of the most exciting games I've ever been a part of. Brandon Kibbe made an incredible interception in that game, and the young quarterback, Justin, had a great day against Wesley. Think about Platteville and the disappointment at their place, giving that game away. But also you think about Illinois Wesleyan coming back from a really disappointing loss against Wheaton, and Al, who you're going to talk to here in a few minutes, picking up the muffed snap and scoring, and a lot of really neat moments happen over the course of the year. Austin Brunig running on one of his who knows how many runs of over 50 yards on the season. So yeah, there were a lot of highlights that we'll reflect back on as we continue to move away from the season. Does
it kind of collect into one big season for you? Because you've been in this for a while as a coach. When you look back at maybe years 1, 2, or 3, are there kind of defining moments, or is it kind of one collection that you kind of think about?
I think from the program standpoint, without a doubt, there's defining moments that you remember as being really seminal moments in the program's development to where we are today. But this season right now, certainly you look at it as an entire body of work at this point. As I said, kind of as we work our way away from the season and more time elapses, there'll be significant moments, I think, that stand out a little bit more than right now.
Yeah. So now the seniors are done on the football field, but they still have things to look forward to, graduation, finding that career to get out into the real world. As a coach, you see these guys, no longer football players, maybe on the field, but certainly guys that you're going to track moving forward. Are you pretty proud of the way they've approached the academic side of things, and how excited are you to see what they're going to do in the future?
Yeah, our guys are truly student athletes. They're students first, and they take their academics very, very seriously. We've got a board in our office, Academic Champions Board, that it's gotten really competitive. You go back to 2009 when we put that board up. We have 32 slots on that board because 32 teams make the playoffs, so that's a meaningful number to us. And then there's a 33rd slot. You have to have over 3.0 to qualify for the board. That first term, the 32nd slot was a 3.0. And then you had about 8 more guys on that 33rd slot.
Wow.
Now it's about a 3.4 for that 32nd slot, and there's another 20-some guys or more on that next page. So it is really competitive. They take it very seriously, and they understand why. Because the objective is to land a job upon graduation. And you're going to talk to these guys stepping up right now. They've been offered jobs. So that's why they go to college.
Yeah.
The football is additive to their college experience, and they've done a great job. We're really proud of them, and we will track them as they continue on in their careers, and hopefully they'll continue to come back and be great supporters of Cardinal football.
Now that's just one pillar of your philosophy as a program, faith, family, academics. Kevin Schroeder again mentioned it after the game this past week, that it has kind of transformed him into the person that he wants to be. Do you find that most of the players that make it through 4 years of the Cardinal football program end up transformed in a positive way?
Well, certainly that's the hope, because that's why you get into this thing as a coach. You want to impact the lives of young men, and as a Christian guy, there's nothing to me that's more rewarding than to hear a young man talk about his faith and the development of his faith in the 4 years that they spent with us. In my opinion, that's why God puts us on this earth, is to have an impact and share your faith with other people. So it's really an opportunity for us as coaches to do that, and to hear those stories of lives changed in that way in particular, nothing could be more exciting to me.
Now you got a moment to kind of share things with the athletes and their families before the game. How special was that to get the parents walking up as well and greeting you?
Yeah, emotional, as we talked about off the air. Really an emotional day, an emotional week, and a lot of tears.
Yeah.
Good thing I had sunglasses on.
We didn't have the camera directly on you, I promise.
Good. All right.
I want to shift the attention away from the seniors for a moment, because obviously there's more football to be played in the near future. You have some really great pieces in place for the upcoming seasons. What is it that you most look forward to next year? What is the areas of strength that you think could really be fantastic for Cardinal football?
Well, we bring back, all of our skill players on offense, and we've got 3 offensive linemen coming back. So I think we'll have a chance to be pretty darn good. Now we lose 2 first-team All-Conference, 2-time first-team All-Conference guards in Eric and Pat. So we're going to sorely miss them. We've got to find a way to replace them. Defensively, I'm really excited. Just at the development that we saw over the course of the year, we've got a ton of guys coming back on that side of the ball too. We'll be fast, we'll be aggressive. So I think there is a lot to be excited about coming back next year.
Yeah, now as you go into the offseason, recruiting-wise, maybe not what kind of athlete, but what kind of person do you look for to bring into the Cardinal football program?
High character individuals, guys that want to be uncommon in their life, and competitive guys.
Yeah.
Love multiple sport athletes, because what that's telling me is you're competitive. So those are the kind of things we look for. Certainly, a guy that just plays football, we're not going to turn away from him. But you really want to see that competitive drive and the underlying character. So when we hear from teachers from the building or friends of the family that this guy's really a high character kid, he rises a notch on our recruiting board.
Interesting. How good can you be next year?
As good as the guys want to be. Really, it's hard to say that we're gonna figure out how good we're gonna be next year, starting now. The guys got to be willing to put the time in and really sacrifice and commit to it, and have fun doing it. The sky's the limit, I think, but it really is going to be how hard are we willing to work? How committed are they willing to be? And that will really drive where we go next year.
Coach, it's been a lot of fun to have you on the program this year. We appreciate your time, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it's been fun being here. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Coach. Up next, we have Eric Knaperek, Al Willet, and Rich Zirngibl stopping by. We'll be right back on the Red Zone.
Top 10 moments of the year. We start with Justin Sturzman against Platteville. 15 tackles, including this sack. And oh yeah, the Cardinals have 2 more years of him. Epic battle between the Cardinals and Wolverines. The squeezy. Justin Hunterford sneaks in to take the lead, at least for the moment. Kevin Schroeder goes all David Tyree on his first pick, and sir, may I have another? 2 against Augie for the senior. Back to the freshman quarterback. First touchdown throw as a Cardinal, and they just don't get any easier than that one. A trifecta of touchdowns for Dylan Warden at number 6, single-handedly beating Milliken in the fourth quarter. Eric Wilson emerges from nowhere to grab 3 sacks against the Thunder. How about 2 more the next week against the Titans? Speaking of the Titans, a little oops turns into a big uh-oh as Hunter LeDuc keeps the ball free for Al Willet to scoop and score. Back to the Wesley game, and Brandon Kibbe says, I'll take that off your hands. 3 picks on the year for the senior. Al Willet returns for number 2, jailbreaking the ball for Captain Chris Chacon, who ends his career by getting carried Rudy style off the field, just not as gracefully. Number 1 goes to Austin Brunick, who punches the goal line 18 times. That's a Cardinal record. Mind you, the guy didn't begin the year as a starter. And those are your Red Zone top 10 moments.
Back, and we have Eric Knaperek, Al Willet, and Rich Zirngibl here on set. And Eric, I want to start off with you. Big win. And it was kind of capped by Austin Brunick's record-setting day. We'll get to that in a second. But 56 points in the win. The seniors go out on the right way. You end the season on the right way. What was the feeling for you guys after the game ended?
I couldn't have been more excited. It was a great way to go out, and something about Austin, he's always there to congratulate us as O-linemen, which I'm, can't be more ecstatic about that. He's always giving us shout-outs and stuff. Tremendous kid, and a bright future for him.
Now, we've talked to the running backs. O'Shane, he went down with the injury, and Austin, they both credited the offensive line. I talked to Pat on Saturday. He goes, oh, man, we can't do it without the running backs. Who is it? Who's really responsible for such a great running game this year?
Honestly, it's just a mixture of both. They're correcting us when we're wrong. They're making the right reads. They're reading linebackers. They're hitting holes different ways, and sometimes we make mistakes, but it doesn't show because they're getting touchdowns.
Now, Al, as a fellow senior, you got to see Matt Randolph cross the goal line on that rushing touchdown. I think it was in the first or second quarter. How excited were not just the seniors but the team to see a guy like that end on such a high note?
Matt is a true team player. He's always making sure that everyone's up and everyone's having a good time. So I know Matt was battling some injuries, so it was really exciting to see Matt get into the end zone and all the excitement he had with that. So that was really nice.
Now, you had your own special moment. Not only did you get the sack, but I think that guy might have been knocked into some other dimension. And you forced a fumble on the play in which Captain Chris Chacon recovered it, and you said after the game couldn't have scripted it any better.
Yeah.
Coming off the field, you said you didn't know the fumble was loose.
Oh,
but
no.
When you found out, just how excited were you?
Oh, it was awesome. I came off the field, and then everyone met me. We were giving hugs. I thought the game was over, and Chris came up. He was like, dude, I got the fumble. So, just gave him a big hug, and like you said before, picture perfect. So, great way to go out and end my career as a football player.
Kevin Schroeder got a little exercise. He carried Chris off the field. That must have been pretty cool for him as well.
Oh, yeah. It was fun. Yeah.
Now, Rich, talking about Kevin Schroeder, you guys have spent a lot of time together. He was a defensive back before moving to linebacker this year. Just what was that process like as freshmen coming in? I can't imagine you guys, you scared as freshmen maybe a little bit, growing together, and now as seniors making a huge impact on this team.
Yeah, no, definitely. Kevin and I have been really good friends for the last 4 years, pretty much along with Brett O'Kane too at the safety position. But Kevin and I, we just kind of grown together, and I've learned a lot from him. He's a great kid, really smart, really intelligent. We were actually just sitting in computer science class earlier this morning writing programs, so great kid. But we, like he said, we were scheming and watching film for the past 4 years together, and then watching him go through that transition to our outside linebacker position, I think it worked out really well for him because he got to hit a lot more people this year, which was really exciting to see.
Now, we've seen you guys give a lot of flack in the secondary for dropped interceptions. You had 2 of them against Illinois Wesleyan. I haven't forgotten those because when you were on the show, you gave it to Pat Cravens.
Yeah.
The next week, you followed up with an interception, and it was a big one. How excited were you to kind of atone for those mistakes against Wesleyan?
Yeah, I was really excited. I was more excited to just see Coach Greer actually happy with me. He always says, if you got hands, you got money, and told me I was broke after the Wesleyan game. So, yeah, I heard a lot of it.
Tyler was on the show that week, and he said he came right over to me and put his hands in my hand warmer and tried to pass that off as the reason why he couldn't catch those. His hands were cold. Is that really the reason?
No, I was just really trying to dry him off. I guess I just couldn't squeeze it in and just finish the play.
You've had your fair share of big moments this year, though. The big interceptions, a couple of phenomenal returns. You looked like a wide receiver with the ball in your hands when you did get it in your hands. Is that exciting for you when you kind of get the ball in space?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Kind of took me back to high school a little bit when I played some offense. Missed it a little bit, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Now, Eric, you have a senior along with you on the offensive line, yes. Pat Bulger. How special is that relationship between you and him? Co-captains, you guys are the guards. You guys are really the anchors of the offense.
Yeah, Pat and I, he came in my sophomore year from Air Force. Luckily I got to start that year with him. And it's taken off from there. He's my best friend. I've lived with him for 2 years, shared a room with him. You eat, sleep, play football with these guys, and I'd say my whole senior class are my best friends, and it's just been a great experience.
He said that he's met guys that he's going to have on the altar with him when he gets married. Is that a pretty cool feeling, knowing that you guys are that close, that you guys are going to be at each other's weddings?
Yeah, I take pride in that, and he's a great friend of mine.
Now, Al, I want to finish up with you in this segment. The festivities before the game, I can't imagine were anything short but extremely emotional. You guys get to walk on the field. You get greeted by Coach. You come with your families. What was that like? I mean, you've seen that for 3 years as the outgoing seniors. Yeah. Was it as kind of emotional as you expected it to be?
Like Coach kind of said before, we got a lot of the crying out earlier in the week with the seniors and their speeches. But it was almost like a happy to be there moment. Like, things coming full circle, and, just seeing how we've developed as players and as men, and how coaches have seen that. So we're having our parents out there as well. It was a very big moment, so really, really enjoyed it.
Well, get ready. We're going into the unknown. We're not going to talk any football in the next segment, so be ready. We're going to be right back on the Red Zone.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Welcome back, continuing our chat with this fine group of seniors. And guys, I want to start off with Al. Talking to Coach the last few weeks, and he mentioned that you're a musician, and not just a musician, but a whiz at music. What are your plans? I mean, what are you studying right now, and what's the focus moving forward?
I'm a double major in marketing management, so kind of the business field. Haven't really looked into jobs yet, so that's what my winter and spring will consist of. But yeah, if I could keep music in there, I'd love it. I mean, music is a big part of my life. I'm in the choir at school. I played multiple instruments, so if music lines up with that, that'd be great.
I always find it interesting, the dynamic between being a football player, and then being a musician. Yeah. It seems like two different things. How have you combined them, and kind of how do you interweave them?
Being part of music and being a part of football has been really great for me. I've been able to eat a lot of diverse people and gain a lot of friendships that way. Being able to just kind of combine them, and Coach is always making me sing at practice or make me sing at meetings. So it's super fun to, get the guys up, sing a song. Yeah, I mean, it's not a really hard balancing act. I mean, the coaches and choir directors, they're very understanding of my schedule, so it's been really fun being able to juggle both of those.
I'm very tempted to have you demo, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to put you on the spot. But Eric, I want to go to you next. You're a senior. What's in your near future for you? Graduation's coming up pretty close. What are you majoring in, and what's the hope?
Yeah, I'm an accounting major with a minor in finance. I came in undecided. I met Alex and Peter Mann, who I'm sure have been on the show. and they've just kind of guided me in a career towards the business world, and I chose accounting. This past summer, I interned at Lauterbach and Amon, which is a small accounting firm in Warrenville, on their audit team, and I loved it, and I was lucky enough to get an offer from them.
I don't know if I told you this. Me and the Mans grew up together. They live basically in my backyard,
Really?
so I've had a lot of time spent with them, and they're doing really well in the finance
They are.
field. How much have they helped you?
I still talk to them to this day. They've been at our games this whole year, and they've just been excellent role models for me. I'll still continue to talk to them, and they're in Chicago. They're at EY, doing really good things.
You just can't separate them. It's kind of funny.
You can't.
Now, Rich, I want to talk about computer science. You said was the class that you were in this morning. What's the career that you're kind of hoping to go into?
I'm actually just like Eric. I'm majoring in accounting with a minor in business. But I was able to intern for the past 2 years pretty much at this company called GoGround. Small company that's in the process of growing a lot, actually. They work directly with the NCAA, which is really cool.
Cool.
But I've been doing a lot of data analytics with them and a lot of surveys and stuff like that.
Thus the computer science.
Yes, yeah. That was one of my requirements. But yeah, I've had some great experiences with them. I was actually able to go to the NBA All-Star game last year, work in New York for a week. Really tough. It was a grind, but at the end of the day, you look back and we saw the success that we had, and it was a lot of fun. And then I also was fortunate enough, my neighbor has his own small accounting firm, and I was able to do a little work for him over this past summer, kind of get more into the accounting specifics and stuff like that, which was a lot of fun.
Now I want to ask you, as a Cardinal football player, you're both a student and an athlete. How much has what you've been able to experience in football carried over and kind of taught you lessons that you're going to bring forward into your career?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is kind of just adjusting on the fly. Little adversity hits. You see a lot of the guys out there on the field that something happens, boom, we're right back out there. Fixing things, taking a positive attitude towards it too, and that kind of was really demonstrated by my boss in New York. We came in with a game plan, and something went wrong, one here, there, and next thing you know, he's got a new plan within the first 10 minutes, and everything's back on track, going smooth. So I think just kind of dealing with things that pop up that you weren't ready for.
I love how football players always use the terminology they learn on the football field. In the business room, it's always game plan. We're going to blitz the competition. It's kind of funny. But Eric, I want to talk about the core philosophy of this team. And Coach and I talked about it in the second segment: faith, family, and academics. How much has that kind of guided you over the course of the last 4 years?
Yeah, I couldn't have chose a better place to go through my 4 years somewhere. Faith, I came in, I'm not the most religious person, but I do have faith, and Coach has shared his faith with me, the whole staff, Gary Ireland, who's our team chaplain, and just the guys around me. They've helped me explore my faith in different ways. Academics, I've gotten the best grades I've ever gotten in my academic career, from high school to middle school. And just my family, I've grown with my brother a lot, who's 20. We're going to be 24. He's going to be 24 this weekend. I'm going to be 22. And I guess I've just opened up more as a person. And I'm thankful for that.
That's awesome. Now, Al, I'll finish with you. It's going to be tough, this question. 4 years, if you could try and sum it up, what would that summation be?
Just what, the whole thing?
Yeah.
It's been a real big journey. Starting off as a freshman, my journey was a little different than these guys. I started off in Geiger as opposed to Seeger.
Hey, I did too.
So, and I ended up being the only guy in Geiger that has made it the whole 4 years. So just kind of going from there and being able to transform and build relationships with the guys, and all through the ups and downs on the football field, and in the weight room in the winter and spring ball, and just building those relationships. I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world as well. It's been a crazy ride, but I'm glad it ended the way it did.
Congratulations on your 4 years, guys. It's been a lot of fun to watch you, and best of luck moving forward. It sounds like you guys all have fantastic and bright futures ahead of you.
Thank you very much.
Good job, guys. That's all the time for this week's edition of The Red Zone. We want to thank you for tuning in to this season of The Red Zone. It's been a lot of fun. Check back in after the New Year's. The Cardinal Report is back for its 8th season. For everyone here at NCTV 17, I'm Kevin Jackman saying so long. We'll see you next year.